Hello, everybody. This is Stephan Hovnanian, and welcome to another edition of the Google Plus Business Spotlight, where we basically talk about how real businesses are using Google Plus. Got two fabulous people with me today. Obviously, my co-host Ben Fisher. How you doing today, Ben?
Hey, Fist Bump Wednesday. I'm Ben Fisher. I haven't shaved today.
Won't hold it against you. I did, so maybe and Aaron's got a goatee, so I
I just
think
shaved this part.
yeah, we've got it covered. We're in good shape. So, yeah, I mean, before I introduce our guest for today, just want to remind everybody to, as best you can, support the show with the hashtag #GPLUSSPOTLIGHT. That helps us track the reach and helps us prove to ourselves that this is totally worth it. And we hope you're getting a lot of value out of it too. Also, GPLUSSPOTLIGHT.com. Ben and I have been talking about for the past couple weeks actually revamping the show a little bit and making it more of a standalone idea. So if you go over to that website, gplusspotlight.com, there's an email list to sign up. I would really appreciate it if you do that, because we have some great exciting news that we can share, and we'd rather do it through email because we're making some changes to the format of the show and things like that. All right, so without further ado, just want to introduce today's guest. So AaronWood, who's a fellow guy here from Massachusetts, very excited about that. We have to meet in real life actually one of these days.
Definitely.
And he's a graphic designer, one of the first users here on Google Plus. Like literally, I think he probably got one of the postcards or something back way back then. And does some fantastic poster and graphics work, book covers and all. We dropped a few of them in the event page, so you guys can check that out. And I guess I'm gonna turn it over to you, Aaron. Tell us a little bit about you and welcome.
Thanks for having me on the show, guys. Like they said, my name is AaronWood. I'm a graphic designer. Back in June of 2013, I made this my full-time gig. So I'm a full-time freelancer. And before that, I've got experience in working in the printing industry for about 5 or 6 years, and another 5 or 6 years in gift wrap design, which actually feeds into the whole printing. I've always done art, and just working in graphic design and working in print shops and stuff has taught me to kind of marry the fact that I can take a job from start to finish for a client, rather than just, I'm going to make you pretty pictures and then you worry about getting the printing done. I can kind of see the whole workflow through. So that's kind of my gig. I do a lot of book covers. I do game design for board games. My posters have gone, thankfully and luckily, have gone viral online, so kind of known for that. And just looking to expand my rapport daily on what I'm doing and what I can do for people.
Awesome. Welcome. So what was it like back in the day when before Google Plus has still yet to go mainstream?
It was great. I mean, I joined kicking and screaming. My friend gave me an invite and said, "You got to try this out." I didn't see any need for another social network. Google was really pushing it to be, these days everyone's like, Google Plus is not Facebook, whatever. Back in the day, if you watch all their promo videos, it has more of a Facebook feel to it. It's kind of a feel-good, people kind of thing. It's evolved, I think, past what Google originally intended it to be, or maybe they intended it to be like this all along, but it's kind of gone, who knows. But anyway, it was more or less, this big group of people who were all thinking the same thing. I'm here on this beta, and there's just people here, let's circle them up. And what I did is I said to my friend, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and start randomly circling people. And that's what I did. I went and circled about 600 people randomly. And some of those were big names. Some of those were just people like myself that had no clue what this was. Some were, basically big names in the tech industry, authors, stuff like that. And you know what? It all kind of worked out, because some of those people actually circled me back and started to share my stuff, and from there, here I am.
Yeah, but then you ended up on the suggested users list.
I did end up on the SUL, as I call it, the sucky user list, or the suggested user list. It's a double-edged sword. It's a lot of people coming your way. As with any kind of social thing, whether it's Twitter or Facebook, a high follower count does not always mean a high amount of engagement. I do get a lot of people commenting on my work. It didn't skyrocket to astronomical levels, but I have a core group of people who follow me for my humor, my entertainment value, and my artwork, and that's what I like. I like to see people giving me feedback, and that makes me happy. Is having people talk to me, and I'm able to talk back to them.
You know, speaking of humor, I've got to put this out there, and I can't say, unfortunately, the first word on air, but let's just say it's SH*T. People say on Google Plus.
Yes.
Right? Which is, I mean, actually, that's how I found you in the first place. It's because Christine DeGraff went ahead and shared that video out there, and I watched it and I laughed for the entire 3 minutes and 4 seconds because like 98% of it is still true.
It is.
And
it is.
like, so, just really quickly as an aside, what in the world inspired you to do that in the first place?
Looking back, you know, it's been 2 years since I did that video. There were a lot of people who were saying the same things over and over and over again, and it really resonated with me that I needed to make a video of these things. And at the time, there were a lot of those types of videos being made, whether it was things guys say, things women say, things artists say, whatever. But it was kind of right place, right time, and I just sat down, made a list of things. My girlfriend and I went to the mall, local mall where I was living, and we just filmed this. And around the local area, we filmed segments. I threw them together and posted it, and people said, you know what, I might not like what you're saying, but it's spot on. Everything you're saying is spot on, and people do say these things. So it just all kind of worked out that way.
And you've got a second one coming up soon, right?
Hopefully. I've got a list going of things to say. But like you said, a lot of things in the old video are still true. You know, there are some things that have been added. Maybe some of those things will make a cameo appearance in the new video.
Right.
Now
you have more stuff to play with now.
Exactly. Oh, I do. I've got a lot to play with. And you know what? My tagline when I started here was, you know, this is like Google, I think it was Google Plus is my playground or something like that. So I do like to play here and have some fun.
So anybody in the comments, if you have any stuff that you want Aaron to consider for his follow-up as the stuff people say on Google Plus all the time, like, hey, we should hang out. Let's hang out. Want to hang out? I think we should do a hangout on air. It's a hurl.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things you could definitely expand on. We have a question from Denise Wakeman here in the event live here on the event page about a link to it, and neither of us thought to really go and grab it from YouTube. But we'll get that into the comments eventually. So thank you, Denise. Good call.
Yeah, I couldn't. Unfortunately,
then again, it's kind of a good idea because then you wouldn't watch. Minutes.
That's right. That's right.
That is correct.
Just saying. So, there you go. If you hashtag, I'll just put it out there. My contribution here is to hashtag all the things at this point.
Hashtag all the things.
Yeah, you got to add that. Let's see. So a couple of things that I would love to talk about because it resonates with me a lot. You know, you said Google Plus is your playground, right? So I would say, you know, stands to reason that your posting strategy, not even a strategy, it's just this is how you do it on Google Plus. You know, you're probably breaking some rules, and why don't we talk about that a little bit? Because I think there's a lot of value to the way you're doing it and the way you're approaching it. That even though you're breaking rules, that there's still something to talk about there.
I do like to break the rules on here, and one of the things that I do is I post a lot of my own content. I share very minimally other people's content or post about, you know, other people's content, which in some ways makes me a jerk. In some ways it fits the bill for what I do, because I do post pretty regularly. I post a lot. And some people, I do share, like, I gotta say though, I do share some things if it really resonates with me, but I'm here to kind of post my own stuff, and it's not just my art. I post, food that I eat, which is against the rules usually. People are like, this isn't Facebook, but I find that the food that I post is interesting enough usually to get people to talk.
Like
I put
squid.
Yeah, the dancing squid thing, which I wish I had come up with, and I wish was mine. But it's always good. I keep that post in my back pocket, as Mark Trepagan has said. It's kind of the magic bullet of, I'm low on engagement, I need to pull this out and post it. I'll post if I go to a concert that I like, and I'll post a picture of the ticket stub or the performance, and that gets people talking because people will be like, oh, I love that band. Let's talk about it, kind of thing. I do post about my art. If I do a cover for somebody, a book cover, I'll post that. But it's mainly my own stuff, and it's mainly what I like, and that's it. That's my strategy. Like I said though, I do share other people's things occasionally. There's a few fellow artists here on Google Plus that I help out from time to time and post about their work. Mainly because we're all old school guys. If I see a new up and coming artist that I like, I'll post about their stuff. But yeah, it's pretty much my own show, my own channel, and how I run my own thing. So
you're really authentic. You're just really authentic, Aaron.
Yeah, I try to be. And I'm trying not to win any popularity contests by posting really, really popular stuff and sharing really popular things from some of the bigger names out there, or the people who share content that gets a massive +1s. What I'll do is I'll go comment on that content, and I'll take the conversation there. But for the most part, you're right, I try to be authentic, post what I make, I create, and go from there.
So what you're basically saying, just to recap, is that you have a channel. Mm-hmm. Your profile is your channel. There's a certain kind of programming, if you will, and you're hoping that people tune in to watch your kind of programming, whether it's your graphics or the things that or even if you're showing other people's commercials, if you will. I mean, if try to take this, in a TV context.
That's perfect because people love TV. So so that's a good way to think about it.
And if it's not any good, they'll just keep scrolling, and which would be like the DVR. There we go.
That's right.
I pulled off the analogy.
You did.
Woo-hoo! Sweet. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think even for businesses, it makes a ton of sense in some respect. I mean, I love what you're doing because, and again, it resonates with me because I've kind of adopted a similar mindset that I want you. You're following me for a reason. And this again goes for businesses as well. There's certain things that I want to talk about, and yeah, if somebody else wrote about it, great. But if not, if I'm the only one writing about it, or if I think that this is something that I feel you should watch or read or whatever, yeah, I'm going to share it, and I'm going to post about it. So I think that's a great takeaway for hopefully. I mean, I think it's a great takeaway for businesses to understand that you don't have to play these games. You can just do your thing. And people want to tune in for that because it's who you are, and you're able to even interject your the voice that isn't necessarily about business and art. You talk about it just to get people talking, but it's still about you. And I think that's a tremendous asset to be able to do that, especially for your profile.
One thing I do have to bring up, I'll mention that other social network. I'm on Facebook, and over on Facebook, I ask a question of the day. And it started off at the beginning of the year as just I asked a couple questions, and I did the same questions over here, and I found that on Facebook, the couple questions that I asked, I forget what they even were, I was getting a lot of people commenting. And so I just started to go with it. I started a hashtag for it. Unfortunately, I learned that Facebook only does hashtags up to a certain point, like the most recent ones, which is a shame. But here on Google Plus, you can hashtag search something, and which I like. You'll see results way into the past, just about anything from that hashtag. But I started to do a question of the day. Now I get anywhere between 30 to 50 to even sometimes 70 comments on, and they're from. I always make them public. So I get all these people, people I don't know answering them. I tried it over here as well. I find that it's funny because I find that I get more interaction on Facebook in that ballpark than I do here. So if you're a business, you know, and not saying you won't get it here, but in general, if you're on social media, try asking a question to your fans or your followers or the people who use your business from time to time. That way you get people talking. And, you know, you just don't want to be this faceless entity. I like the back and forth that I get with people, whether they're talking about my art or a question that I post. And that's, like I said, that kind of is why I'm on social media the most, is to kind of get that interaction. So.
Well, it's social. That's
yeah,
kind of the point, right?
Yep. And I won't lie. I mean, I'm mainly here to make money because that's my business. But using that social tool and being social is you know, why you're here. You know, if you just post things up and be like, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, it does get old. And that's definitely what I try not to do.
Aaron, I'm sorry. You just, besides saying the F word, okay, you know, because you did say the F word, right? Okay, but you just said you're something that's really, I think, foreign to many people who are on Google Plus, and that's you're here to make money.
Yes, I am, and that's the thing. When I first started and people were all circling me and everything, I said right from the beginning, I said, I am here to make money. Everybody's like, you're here to be social and follow interesting people. I'm like, no, I'm here to make money. At the time, my posters were just starting to go viral, and I said to myself, I'm into something good here. People are following me. They're buying my stuff, and Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus are ways to amplify my money-making capability. And whether that be I post a picture of my food and somebody starts following me because of that, and then I'll post a picture of my artwork, and they'll be like, that's really cool, I'll go buy it. Or I post about I'm running a special in my Etsy store. It all culminates in me making money. I got to make a living. This is my living, and social media integrates into that heavily. It really does.
So, you know, at the beginning of the year, there was a hashtag that started off, and I think it was kicked off by Mia Voss and Christine DeGraff, and that's called hashtag Get Paid to Be Awesome, right?
Yep.
And it is so true. People are really, and businesses are starting to see the true value of Google Plus now. It's been 2 years. It's matured into a platform where it's okay to get paid to be awesome.
Yes.
And so why don't we talk a little bit about the awesome stuff that you do on Google Plus? You know, you're a cover designer.
Yep.
You make these awesome retro posters. And also you have another trick up your sleeve that you can tell everybody about too.
Oh yes. Beyond the posters and the you know, the other stuff, I've started to get into Kickstarter a lot more lately. I've got a successful Kickstarter of my own that I've run, and that was for a book of my posters, a coffee table book. And between all the social media and real life, I managed to get that funded a couple years ago. But in the last year or two, I've been consultant on a number of successful Kickstarters. One recent one is for Russell Hawley. He's big on the Plus. And he's doing an anti-survival guide, an alien anti-survival guide. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek, humorous book. There's all these survival guides out there, like zombies and the nuclear apocalypse and all that stuff like that. But his is a how to die to different aliens kind of book take on it, and that hit its goal, you know. And whether it was because my name was attached to it or because he's well liked, I'd like to think that, you know, just helping him out illustration-wise was enough to maybe get a few more people on board. I recently just did a Kickstarter for a board game, a reboot of an old-school board game from the 80s. That hit $35,000 off a $15,000 goal. And I was talking with the designer, and he said, you know, I tried to kickstart this once before and didn't get anywhere close to my goal. I honestly think that with your advice and your artwork and your experience, your past experiences with Kickstarter, is what put us over the goal. You know, you helped me set not prize tiers, reward tiers. You help me price them. You help me with the branding and the promotion. So I'd love to get more into helping people with Kickstarter. Kickstarter is a scary thing. You're asking people for money, basically, what it comes down to. But the thing is, and I'll give you guys, from a business standpoint, kind of a takeaway from this, always give your the people that are giving you money something in return. Whether it's a shout out. In my book, one of the tiers was you got your name printed in the book. And I've done fundraising before for past projects, long before Kickstarter existed, for my self-published comic book that I did with a couple friends. We just basically asked everybody that we knew for $25. This was back in the early 2000s. $25 got your name in the book and a copy of the book. And you know what? We raised enough money to get 3 separate issues printed. If you give your customers, fans, friends, family, whatever, something back, they see it as a value. You know, you're asking them for something, but if you give them something back, that's where the key is, I think, in social, and I think the key is in business, is giving those people something back. You're asking them for something, whether it's loyalty or their money or whatever, and you're giving them back some type of content that they like, some type of entertainment, or some type of reward that is going to keep them coming back. And I think in the end, that sets up a good relationship.
So things like rewarding your customers basically is really the, I mean, gosh, you can go and search on all the different ways that you can reward your customers. And I know even on social media, there are ways to do it where maybe it could be as simple as sharing one of their blog posts, or just saying, hey, comment. Gosh, we've talked about this before with other brands that we've had on the show. It's all of a sudden, you have one of your favorite brands that you've supported however you can. Say, yeah, dude, go check out so and so, and I mean, it makes your day.
It does. There's things that I use, and I play a lot of board games, and there's board game companies that I'll take a picture, I'll post it to Instagram or post it to Twitter, whatever, hashtag, or direct the tweet or whatever at them, and they'll come through and they'll like it or they'll comment on it. And that's great when somebody that you look up to, or you look at them for an entertainment value, kind of looks back at you in a way and acknowledges that you're there.
And it shows that you're paying attention too, because you aren't all about you.
Yeah, you have to. You have to.
Aaron, you probably should get with Will Wheaton, because he features board games all the time.
I would love to sit down with Will and play a board game at some point. Maybe that'll be my new goal for 2015, is to sit down with Will and play a game. I have had Will Wheaton tumble my posters before on his Tumblr account, reblog them, I should say.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
So that was kind of a little bit of a awesome thing right there that he did for me.
Just really quickly, is there anything that you would suggest people watch out for when they're doing a Kickstarter campaign?
Yes. Don't spam. Don't over-promote the account. Don't over-promote what you're trying to do. When you initially set it up, try, before you go live, ask some people to share the hell out of it. Get people on board that are going to increase the signal on this thing and get it out there. But then don't post every day about it. Maybe do that for the first week and then take a break and then come back. I've seen that most Kickstarter funds do this. They shoot up, they plateau off, and then there's that last push. The one that I've been involved with, as far as the board game one, just did this. It was lucky. Every day was growth, growth, growth. But for the most part, you'll get that kind of plateau thing. So in that plateau time, maybe jump in a couple times and a few times and post. But I know a lot of people who just try so hard and people get sick of it, and they're like, okay, back off. We know you're doing a Kickstarter. But yeah, that and just giving back good rewards for what you're doing. I know some people don't. I've looked at various Kickstarters, and the reward versus what you're giving them really doesn't pay off. So try to make your rewards really well planned out, and that will get people interested. And then don't spam your the people that you're asking to help you out.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of planning goes into this. any type of a social product launch, because there's, I mean, I know I put out an ebook a few weeks, but what is it, 6 weeks ago almost now at this point? And yeah, there was, I mean, there are all these little things, and because again, you don't want to be, you don't want to come out like be pushing it down people's throats. So you try and find other people to help you out, and you come up with different types of content. You kind of stagger you stagger some free information with, and then maybe ties in. Maybe not on the social post, but maybe on the website you're linking to, maybe ties in over to your book, or it's really trying to think of how integrated you can make it. It's a lot of work, and I've got to imagine from what you're saying, it sounds like people don't really think all of that through. So that's part of the reason that they fall a little short of their expectations.
Yeah. Unless you have, of course, a lot of people like AaronWood who don't share other people's stuff, then nobody will share your Kickstarter stuff.
Exactly. Oh, damn you.
Totally messing with you, buddy.
I know. I hear you. I've shared a bunch of friends' Kickstarters before, successful and not. So, yeah, but you got it.
Yeah. I've got to share one comment that we have here from Denise Wakeman. Denise says, love your message about being here to make money, AaronWood. If you have a business, then you need to make money or you won't last long. If you don't tell people what you do, make an offer from time to time. You'll be out of business. What do you think of that?
Yeah, you definitely have to. I mean, but like she said, tell people what you do from time to time. In between my posts about what I've had for breakfast and maybe what concert I'm going to, I'll say, hey, I've got an Etsy shop. Maybe once a week, once every other week, a couple times a month or whatever, where I'll be like, here's a shop, and here's my shop, and this is what I do. Or anytime I do a book cover, I'm posting it up there to say, hey, I did this cover, but I'm also saying, hey, check out this book that somebody wrote. So that's kind of, you can get away, when you're doing something for somebody else, you can kind of get away with self-promotion in that aspect. You can say, I did this cover, and go check out this book that somebody wrote. So that works out too, because it's seen more as promoting the other person's book, and your artwork is there too, because somebody might say, hey, I really like that cover art, let me get with that person and they can do a cover for me. But yeah, you're here, people need to know about you. You need to post about yourself. I mean, unless you're so well known that you can put content out once a month, once a year even, and people will go crazy for it. But in the meantime, if you're a smaller up-and-comer, there's nothing wrong with posting a couple times a week about what you do, and just don't be needy. Don't be like, gimme. Make it so you're like, this is what I do. Don't come right out and say, hey, don't be so needy with your posts. Craft them in a way where it's, hey, this is what I do. If you like it, maybe support me, kind of thing. And if your artwork is good or your design is good or whatever, you don't even have to say support me. Your work will speak for itself.
Right. Hey, you know what? I had a thought listening to you here, Aaron. Why don't let's do something for those of you who are still watching, and anybody who's watching the replay. Let's do something cool. I want you to share either in the event comment or on YouTube or wherever, what blog post that comes out later about this. Share a post with this link and tell us what you do. Shameless self-promotion.
Perfect.
And use the hashtag G+Spotlight.
Yep. That'll be pretty awesome.
That'd be great.
Let's push that a little bit. Everybody, drop a comment, drop a link. No problem with that kind of thing. It's not against the rules.
Yeah,
that's an awesome call to action. So everybody who's active right now, tell us what you do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and give us a link that we can go check you out.
I'd love to see that.
Sweet. Yeah. All right. Well, Aaron, I mean, we try and keep this to about a half hour. We're hitting that. Gosh, probably talk a little bit more, but you know what? I know I just said to everybody, drop a comment, but we're talking. So so you can go a little bit further. Where can people get a hold of you and tell us if there's anything else that you're working on that you want to drop on these guys. That would be awesome.
You can get a hold of me here on Google+. I do have a business page, but I found that because I'm on the suggested user list, getting in touch with me through my main profile, my public profile, personal, is the best way to do it. I do have an Etsy shop, which is in my lower third. That's etsy.com/shop/just1scarf, JUSTONESCARF. That way you can reach me through that. That's where I sell most of my stuff. If you're looking to get in touch with me through Facebook, I do have a business page there. It's under AaronWood. And on Twitter, I'm also just one scarf. But any one of those methods, you can get in touch with me. Whether it's to you want to utilize me as a as a designer, or you just want to compliment me on my work, or you want to tell me how horrible it is and how much of a horrible person I am, feel free. Now, as far as projects that are upcoming, I'm working on that book with Russell Hawley, which should be out soon. I have the board game that I'm working on, which is actually Supremacy 2020. If you want to go on Kickstarter and do a search for that. If you want to look for Russell Hawley's book on Kickstarter, just do a search for Russell Hawley. I will be in Seattle at the end of the month for Emerald City Comic Con, which I do a ton of conventions. And those I really have a lot of fun at those. Just got back from South by Southwest, where I met Ronnie Bincer. We've spoken about Ronnie earlier, and he did a hangout on air right from South by with me. And then I just got approved for Dragon Con in Atlanta, so I'll be there. I'll be in Chicago in April for C2E2. So yeah, I've got a bunch of shows coming up, and you can. If you're in the area, stop by the show and meet me there. Stop by my table.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Aaron. This was great. We'll make sure we get all those links again, either in the event page or elsewhere.
Sure.
Because this is it's a lot of fantastic things. I know I want to go check out a couple of them myself. All right. Well, I guess that wraps it up for us. So next week is Social Media Marketing World. We have a guest planned, but we may end up doing something a little different. We're not sure. Maybe a live broadcast. So normally I would introduce who's coming next week, but I think maybe we'll just leave it as a surprise. And here's another call to action. Go to gplusspotlight.com and get on the email list so we can tell you what happens. All right, there you go. Shameless self-promotion. I love it.
I have to give one little bit of shameless self-promotion here.
Do it.
Do it, Ben. Do it.
And it doesn't have to do with my tool. So, and that is that during Social Media Marketing World, we've got another show, which is really exciting coming up, which, Stephan is part of the team too. But at Social Media Marketing World, Christine, Mia, and I are going to be interviewing a bevy of people, including you, Denise Wakeman. And it's going to be really awesome. We're going to be doing hangouts in real life on Thursday, and just interviewing a bunch of really awesome people, not just Google Plus people, but just internet marketing people. So take a look out for the just do a search on Google Plus for the HOA Street Team. And you'll be able to find out all of the events that we've got coming up. We've got quite a few people already listed, and we're going to be doing a daily event feed. And we're going to be doing impromptu interviews as well. So you might find some people very surprising.
And speaking of Social Media Marketing World, with all the talk of that going on lately, I am inspired and I've been in contact with them, to be a speaker or a panelist in the future at Social Media Marketing World. And they're like, it's a tough nut to crack, Aaron. I've been in contact with one of the representatives over there. She's like, we usually cherry pick our speakers. There's a long waiting list. And I said, you know what? I said to myself, at one point I'm going to be on the suggested user list for Google Plus, and I made that happen. I said I would display my art at South by Southwest. I made that happen. So look for me at Social Media Marketing World at some point in the future, and as a speaker. I look to get in there and do that. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, that wraps it up for us for this week's edition of Google Plus Business Spotlight. Thank you again, Aaron and Ben, and we'll see you guys. Around. All right. Until next week.
All right. Bye, everybody.